Hi, I'm Don Carr, and this is the Boss ME-90. The ME series from Boss has been around a long time, and the basic premise has always been, here's a bunch of Boss pedals in one unit. I believe the first version was the ME-5. I had an ME-10 in the early 90s that I used on a lot of gigs, and it sounded great. And with every subsequent version, the ME's added more features and flexibility, keeping the stomp box vibe. The ME-90 keeps that tradition alive and well, with 60 different effects and 11 amp and cabinet models. There's two ways to use the ME-90, manual mode and memory mode. Manual mode is stomp box style, and memory mode lets you create and save patches and switch between them. So let's start with manual mode. That give you an idea of how the ME-90 is laid out. Press the memory manual button, the light turns blue, and you're in manual mode. You can see there are 7 blocks of effects: Preamp, EQ FX2, Comp FX1, OD, DS, Mod, Delay, and Reverb, and each one of those has a corresponding foot switch that turns the block on or off, like a bunch of stomp boxes. Each block has a set of knobs for easy control as well. Let's look at the preamp block. The first knob is the selector, which gives you 11 different amp and cab combinations, everything from clean to high gain. You've also got gain, bass, middle, treble, and an output level. All the sounds in the ME-90 are derived from the Boss GT1000, and the amp models use Boss's AIRD technology, which is Augmented Impulse Response Dynamics. Let's bypass all the other blocks and check out some amp models. Okay, so I've got everything bypassed. Gonna hear just the preamp, and I'm on the natural setting. I'm on the neck pickup on my guitar here. This side of the dial looks to be Boss's proprietary amp model, so I'm going to leave all the settings the same and just flip through those, and you'll hear them one by one. The next one is the X Crunch. All right, the other side of the dial gets into a little more familiar territory here. We're going to start out with twin combo. Okay, I've turned the gain up for the rest of these a little bit. The next one is tweed combo. Okay, There's a handy switch on the front panel labeled Guitar Amp Line that turns the speaker simulators on and off, so you can run the ME-90 through a power amp and guitar cabinet or a full range cabinet or to a mixing console, PA, etc. That switch really ups the flexibility of the ME-90. Additionally, you can load 3 of your own IRs into the ME-90 with the Boss Tone Studio app, which allows you to do a lot of other things I'll talk about later. Moving on to Comp FX1, it also has 11 different effects types and 3 controls per type, depending on which effect you choose. I'll pick an amp model and scroll through a few of the FX1 sounds. Okay, I'm on the natural amp model. I'm on the neck pickup in single coil mode, and here's the compressor. Start with it off. And here's the TY. And a Boss favorite, the slow gear. Another Boss classic, the octave. Here's an interesting one, the feedbacker. Here's a handy one called Tune Down. Next is ODDS, again with 11 types and 3 knobs. It sort of goes from lower gain to higher gain. There's a lot of familiar names in here, so we'll just flip through a couple. Let's start with the one called T-Scream. I'll start with it bypassed. Here's Blues OD. And here's Rat DS. And finally, here's Muff Fuzz. The next block has 11 different types of modulation with some pretty interesting choices. Let's check them out. Okay, you got some of your basic flavors here. We got phaser, flanger, tremolo, chorus, vibrato. So let's hear those. Got a couple of different harmony options here. Pitch shift, which uses a static interval, but you can also use it to slightly detune. It makes a really interesting chorus like this sound. The other pitch option is harmonist, which allows you to choose a key and an interval, and it stays diatonic to the key. The next block is 11 delay types, including a looper. Here's the way a couple of them sound. The EQ FX2 block gives you a 3-band EQ and level control, but it also has redundant effects from the other blocks. which is nice if you got the mod block set for pitch shifter and you still need a chorus or a phaser, or the delay block set for a looper and you still need a delay, or if you just want 2 delays at once. The reverb block is the simplest. You've got 3 types, room, hall, and spring, on a rotary knob that gives you less or more of each. The foot treadle does quite a bit too. As a default, it's a volume pedal, but press down on the toe position and the selector to the left is activated. There are 11 options. You've got wah, 4 different whammy type effects, freeze, OSC delay, and parameter control over other effects like drive, modulation rate, and delay level. Let's check out a few. Memory mode allows you to take all these sounds and options and create and save presets. Memory mode saves every parameter, knob setting, and pedal assignment. There are 4 sounds per bank, and you access those with the buttons on the bottom row, and the bank up and down buttons are right above that. The control button allows you to create a preset within a preset, basically. You can assign it to turn on or off any of the blocks within a preset. Like, for example, this preset I've made here. The last button switches between memory and manual mode, and if you hold it down, it also activates the tuner. So this is a lot, but in typical Boss fashion, there's more. On the front panel, there's a headphone jack and effects loop send and return jacks. Now when you plug an effect in, the loop is activated. In memory mode, you can save the status of the effects loop per preset by pressing the edit button and using the control button to set the on and off position. There's also the Tone Studio app, which I mentioned earlier, that allows you to create, arrange, and store presets. So you download the app and connect your computer to the ME-90 using the USB port. You can also use the USB port for MIDI control or to send and receive audio via your computer. So you can use that to play along with tracks through the ME-90 or as an audio interface to record to your computer. And with the optional Boss Bluetooth dual audio MIDI adapter, you can do this wirelessly with an iOS or Android device. Now this greatly simplifies your one-person band setup. Your guitar sounds are all here, and you can stream your tracks through the same set of outputs. Anyway, a huge amount of possibilities. Finally, let's not forget, it sounds great plugged into the front of an amp, like a bunch of stomp boxes. I'm plugged into a Fender Tone Master Twin, and here's the ME-90 bypassed. I've got the preamp block bypassed, and I'm in manual mode. I'm just going to turn some pedals off and on. Thanks for checking out the Boss ME-90 with me. If you have any questions about this or any other Boss product, make sure to contact your Sweetwater sales engineer or check out sweetwater.com. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click here for more videos like this, or start at Sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.